Hey viewers, how's everybody doing? Welcome to another episode of
Tuyi, the movie geek, hosted by Tuyi Ogedembe. Tonight's episode: Why do box office hit movies spawn inferior sequels?
Okay. I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark when I was a kid, and I love that movie so much. I would like to see the further adventure of Indiana Jones, the lead character, and I got my wish. Raiders of the Lost Ark did so well at the box office. Steven Spielberg and George Lucas decided to make a sequel to it, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and it was followed by Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. And to this day, the last Indiana Jones adventure is Indiana Jones and the King of the Crystal Skull, which is actually my least favorite. But anyway, so many movies do so well at the box office. The producers want to make a sequel, and that's what audience want. Hangover did so well at the box office. It spawned two sequels, and Mad Max did so well at the box office, especially in Australia, and it spawned three sequels. And then there are movies which also did so well at the box office, but they're better off being a one-off story because the sequels to those movies are so inferior. Here are my top five movies that were successful at the box office but spawned such lousy, pathetic sequels. So starting at number five on my list is The Crow. Now, The Crow is a 1994 movie based on a graphic novel by James O'Barr. The lead character, Eric Draven, is murdered by some thugs who also murdered his girlfriend after they raped her. A year later, The Crow flies to Eric's grave, brings him out from the dead, and Eric goes after the thugs that killed his girlfriend. And after he has avenged her, he reunites with her in the afterlife. The movie is the best supernatural thriller of 1994. It starred Brandon Lee, who proved that he can do more than just martial arts movies. He gave a great performance, and it happens to be my all-time favorite movie. Sadly, it was Brandon Lee's last movie because during the making of that movie, he was accidentally shot and killed by a stray bullet. He died on March 31st, 1993. It was a sad loss. I mean, for me, I just lost another great icon. He was the son of Bruce Lee. So anyway, so back to the movie. The movie did so well at the box office. It was an unexpected hit. It grossed $15 million at the U.S. box office, and then the producer decided to make a sequel to it. I was like, what? They're gonna make another a sequel to that movie of another character who comes back to the dead and to avenge his loved ones? Come on, one is enough. And I happen to be right because The Crow's Seed of Angels was so poorly received. They didn't do well at the box office. And despite that, they happened to make two more Crow sequels. But unfortunately, those two sequels came out straight to video. Okay, the next list is number four, Highlander. Now, I know many young viewers have probably not heard of Highlander, but it is a great fantasy movie. It's the story is about immortals who would live forever for many, many, many years, and but the challenge is to fight among each other. And the only way one immortal can kill the other immortal is by cutting off the heads. So, but despite good or evil, they all have to follow the rules. They cannot fight on the holy ground. Like they can't fight in a church. Otherwise, if they break that rule, something bad will happen. Although we never did find out what would happen if they did that, because no one dared break that rule. So anyway, the Highlander is about a Scottish warrior in the old times, which is why the movie is called Highlander, because it focuses on that on a Scotsman who is immortal. So the protagonist Connor MacLeod during a battle, he's killed by a 1,000-year-old immortal. I believe that's how old that rival immortal is. Anyway, he's killed by him, and then he comes back from the dead and becomes immortal. Now his people from the village, they all think that the devil has possessed Connor's body, so they beat him and they drive him out of his village. And as years went by, Connor McLeod is happily married, but then he gets a visit from another immortal who is from Egypt. Although at first he says that he's Spaniard. His name is Ramirez, and he teaches Connor a different style of fighting, so that when he faces other immortals, he'll be able to defeat them. So years and years go by up to the year 1986, and of course, Connor McLeod faces the man that killed him during the battle in Scotland. And well, you guys should just see the movie. It is a great movie. Although it didn't do well at the box office, it only grossed like $12 million to a $50 million budget, but it became it's a cult classic. It did so well at video sales. Yes, video sales. We didn't have DVD or Blu-ray during the 80s, and but unfortunately, it spawned some inferior sequels. I mean, they didn't really have to. I don't know why they did that, because that movie ended with well, I don't want to spoil the movie. Let's just say that the movie ended in a positive note where you don't have to make a sequel to it. But unfortunately, they did. And those sequels, Highlander 2, Highlander 3, Highlander 4, even Highlander, the series, both live and animated, they weren't very good. And so I don't know why they did that. So number 3 on the list is Basic Instinct. It's a 1992 movie directed by Paul Verhoeven. For those of you who haven't seen it, I'm not going to tell you what's it about. I think you should see it for yourself. But I'll tell you this much: it's about a San Francisco cop who is investigating a murder of a rock star, and the suspect is a female novelist who is so mysterious, and she's sexy, and she's very seductive. So the movie stars Michael Douglas and Sharon Stone in her breakthrough role. So yeah, the movie, despite the negative response, the movie did so well at the box office. But then they decided to make a sequel in 2006, Basic Instinct 2. Man, that Basic Instinct 2 was complete trash. I mean, also they did it without Paul Verhoeven's involvement, and Michael Douglas then reprised his role. The only person that returned was Sharon Stone. Boy, the movie, when I saw it at the movies, I wanted to walk out, but I decided to stay behind to see it through. So if you guys are gonna watch Basic Instinct, or have seen Basic Instinct and haven't seen part 2, avoid it. It's not worth it. Part 1 is the best. It's a great movie, but part 2 is not worth watching. Anybody who's a big fan of Keanu Reeves and I've seen movies like The Matrix and the John Wick movies, well, you guys, if you guys haven't seen Speed, you missed out. Speed is the best action thriller of 1994. I saw that movie and I was so blown away. I loved the performances of Keanu Reeves and Dennis Hopper and Sandra Bullock. It's a great action adventure thriller. The story is about a cop who has to who's forced to play a cat and mouse game to a mad bomber. The mad bomber, played by Hopper, plants a bomb on the boss, and if the boss goes below 50 miles per hour, it will blow up. So the cop played by Jack Traven, the protagonist played by Keanu Reeves, is forced to hop on the bus to get the bus driver to speed up. But then unfortunate events happens, and Sandra Bullock is forced to take over the bus. She has to drive the bus after the bus driver somehow gets accidentally shot. So that movie is a great movie. And then Jan Dean-Bond, the director of Speed, foolishly made a sequel, Speed 2. I mean, why did he do that? I mean, it was Speed One is a one-off movie. It doesn't need a sequel. I mean, there's no more story to tell about. I mean, Jack Traven can't doesn't have a further adventure, which unfortunately he didn't because he was not in Speed Two. Well, Keanu Reeves then reprised his role as Jack Traven. Oh, Sandra Bullock, however, did, and she's the lead protagonist in that one. But the event takes place on the cruise ship, and there's like a bomb on the ship. But unlike the one on the bus, the ship doesn't have to go very fast to prevent the bomb from blowing up. But anyhow, the movie was total bonkers. I believe that's a British slang for total shit. Whew, okay, we've come to the number one movie that was successful at the box office, but it spawned inferior sequels, and that movie is the 1975 biggest blockbuster movie of that year, Jaws. It was the first summer blockbuster movie. It just broke box office record. The movie is one of the best. It's one of the best horror thriller that I've seen. It's directed by Steven Spielberg. It stars Richard Dreyfuss, Roy Schneider, and Robert Shaw. I'm pretty sure younger viewers don't know who those three lead actors are, but look them up on IMDb. So anyway, the movie is about a great white shark who's terrorizing the people of a small New England town. I've forgotten where the movie is taking place, but anyway, it just scared the hell out of an audience, including me. I was so afraid to go into the water on the beach. I was even afraid to swim in my grandfather's swimming pool. I didn't swim in the pool for like at least a year. So anyway, the movie grossed like $400 million at the box office worldwide. But then they had to go and make 3 sequels. I mean, why did they do that? We didn't need to see a sequel of another great white shark killing people. I mean, come on. So, well, okay. Let me just explain something a little bit. Now, Jaws 2. I'm not saying that Jaws was a very bad movie. It happens to be it's not as great as Jaws 1, but it's better than Jaws 3 and Jaws 4. I mean, Jaws 2, it's mostly famous for its tagline, just when they thought it was safe to go back into the water. I think that's what made people watch Jaws 2, and that's why Jaws 2 became another box office hit. And of course they had to make Jaws 3, which they didn't do as well as Jaws 2, and Jaws 4, which is perhaps the worst sequel. So anyway, now if they didn't make Jaws 2, they wouldn't have had that famous tagline. So maybe they should have just stopped. They should have continued with Jaws after Jaws 2. But to me personally, I think it should have ended with Jaws 1. And like I said before, we don't need to see a sequel of another great white shark terrorizing people on the beach. So yeah. Okay, that's another episode of Tuyi the movie geek, and to end this, you guys should like I said earlier, if you guys are Keanu Reeves fan, should check out John Wick 3. I heard it's very good. It's the best third installment of the John Wick franchises. So yeah, that's another movie that is definitely worth making sequels. So I'm gonna check it out, and I hope you, if you guys haven't seen it, check it out too. So I'll see you on the next episode. So bye for now. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I did a much better job than my first video of Tui the movie Geek. So if you haven't already, please subscribe, and I promise I'll make more videos of this. Okay, so good night, everyone.